Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, July 23rd, 2020. We're in the final hour of the trading day, my favorite part of the day to make my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. I prefer to make them in the last hour, particularly in the last few minutes, because during the day you have the algorithms, you have the day traders. They are the ones in control of the price. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. They're dealing with the most money, very smart people, best technology, best information, and they start to get to work in that last hour. So I like to piggyback my buying and selling decisions, my end of day buying and selling decisions upon what they are doing in the last few minutes. So thank you all for coming today. Wow, what a day. Pretty intense. The Dow is currently down 340 points, down 1.2%, 1.26%. The NASDAQ is the one that's really getting beat up today, down 224 points, down over 2%. S&P is down 37 points, down 1.13. So the NASDAQ is definitely taking the brunt of it today. I hope everybody's hanging in there, staying safe. Mohammed is here. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Always nice to have you here. Appreciate you making the time. Dan is here. Peace sign right back at you, Dan. And Quad Racer. Good afternoon, Greg and group. Hope everyone's day is going well so far. Well, I hope it is. I hope it is as well. The market's not cooperating too much, but listen, that's how it goes, right? That is how it goes. So, all right. Well, listen, we've got a lot to do today, a lot to get through. Plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. After that, some of you have been kind enough to share your trades with me up on the board today. We're going to take a look at those and see how those are doing. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes talking about trader psychology. Most important part of your trading plan is sticking with your plan. And that comes down to dealing with fear and greed, getting your emotions in check. Best way to do that, in my opinion, is to position size correctly. That way, if you're wrong, even way wrong, you're not that wrong because you positioned according to what you felt like was an acceptable loss. After that, I've gone down through the watch list. Kamal has also sent me the results of his scanner. And so there's some potentials there. I'm going to go through each one of those potentials at the end of the day. 3 requirements before I buy any trade. First requirement, need to have good confluence of indicators lining up. A confluence or combination of indicators lining up like MACD, RSI, moving averages, ATR channels. I consider each one of those a group of buyers, and you're going to put yourself in the best position possible. Increase your odds quite a bit to have a profitable trade if you are in the company with as many other groups of buyers as possible. So how do I try to accomplish that? I try to accomplish that by looking for a confluence or combination of indicators lining up. Does it work every time? Of course not, but it does dramatically improve your odds. Number 2, have to have a good risk to reward. It's very important. You can have a really good setup, nice confluence of indicators lining up, but if you do not have a good risk to reward, then I'm going to pass on the trade. So if I'm going to risk $100 on a trade, I want to be able to make at least 200 or more to the upside. Hope that makes sense. And number 3, keep in mind how many positions you have. Keep in mind the correlation of the positions. Just because you have a good setup every day doesn't mean you have to take it. You have to keep in mind, do I already have a bunch of tech? Do I already have a bunch of real estate? Right? So keep that in mind. Try to keep things as diverse as possible. Okay? So with those 3 requirements, I'll go through the list. If something looks good, I will go ahead and place a trade at the end of the day and or get out of current positions that I'm in right now, which it looks like there's going to be a few of those as well. Then when the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. If you would like me to take a look at any stock symbols, please let me know. I'm happy to look at those for you. If there's any stock symbols during the day that you'd like me to look at, please put an asterisk by it or an emoji or something like that, so I know it's time sensitive, and I'll do my very best to get to it. And then lastly, if you have new entries or exits today, please wait till the end of the day. so that I can update them correctly. But if you could just wait till the end before you tell me what they are, and that way the pressure's off, I can get to them, make sure I have them done right. Okay, so that's the plan for today. All right, well, listen, hang tight. I'm going to run that U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back shortly. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay. Frank is here. How you doing, Frank? Hope you're having a good day, my friend. Thanks for coming. Evan is here. SJM. All right, let's take a look at SJM. Well, it did trigger a fractal today. Here's the high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. It is up today, which is definitely positive. Let's see, SJM. I would say the alligator is not really sleeping. It's got its mouth open to the downside. Generally, the best time to take a trade is when the alligator is sleeping, like this short from here, right? That would have been a really good short. And I did have a really nice short actually today on Tesla day trade that I'll show you. But me personally, I don't think it's moved quite sideways enough. I mean, it's over 50 RSI. MACD is positive. It is over the 200. Has that 100s right there. You know, it's okay. I would consider it like a B trade, something like that. Okay, Frank has a poem for us. All right, it's a 2 blocker. So, oh no, here it is. One strategist says that this and the other says that. From an earnings miss to a total abyss. A trader's reasons over time get seasoned. Time and a dash of salt, and soon you can trade standing on the San Andreas fault. I knew that was coming. Let me try it one more time. One strategist says this and the other says that. From an earnings miss to a total abyss. A trader's reason over time get seasoned. Time and a dash of salt, and you can trade standing on the San Andreas fault. Thank you, Frank. Always appreciate that, sir. Always wonderful poems. Always appreciate the effort and the time that you take, that it must take you to write these poems. It would take me about a year to write one of them. Let me see over here. All right, there we go. Great one, Frank. Thank you. Kamala's here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Karen is here. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Quad says, great poem, Frank. I agree. Quad says, Greg, I noticed UAL is way up today despite reporting losses. Thoughts? Well, it's one of the ones to take a look at that's on my potential list to take a look at, Quad. Evan says, okay, cool. Thanks for looking, Greg. You're welcome. Yeah, I kind of like UAL in a strange way, especially because of the relative strength that it has. Okay, now. All right, let's get to it. Start off, see what's happening. All right, first trade, Frank, Karen, Bob, and Karen. I think I put her in here twice. I did buy CPRT back on the 15th of July. I bought it at 86.59. Triggered a fractal over here. Nice clean break over the 200. It's just been a great trade. I did hit 3 profit targets today, luckily, and it got right to the 70 RSI. So this is a perfect example. Of course, it doesn't always work out this way, but this is a perfect example of why I do like to phase out, because there's certain days like this where at least I locked in higher profit here, and here before it reversed. This is an ugly bar, rejected the 70, rejected the third ATR channel. I will definitely be getting out of this and locking in profits. FAS, Steve, Frank, let's see, Steve, Frank, I think maybe, I can't remember who bought it down here. Was that Kamal? I think it was Kamal. I don't know why I don't have his name on here. But anyway, I think Kamal bought here at 31.65. Steve, Frank, and Miko bought here at 33.99. Moved sideways, then moved up, was up earlier today. Did not get a profit target, unfortunately. It's a V1 to the downside. It has not made a lower low. It's still holding the 50. It's holding up fairly well today considering, so I'm probably going to keep this. ICE. I think I was the only one that took this. Took this with the fractal over here on the 13th of July. 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. Took it at 94.50. It's moved up, up, and up. I did hit 1 profit target up here. Let's see how high it got on the RSI. About 63, so it did not reject the 70. It's well off of its highs, but it's such a brutal down day today that I probably will keep this one, honestly. And it's green today, which shows pretty good relative strength as well. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here as always, Steve. Always an honor and a privilege to have you here. I'm always excited to see you here. I know everyone else is, be able to rub shoulders with Steve Burns in the chat. So thank you very much. Steve says, great job on CPRT trade, Greg, locking in profits into strength. Yeah, that one, I mean, that one's pretty easy, actually. I mean, not that it was easy to get it up here, but as far as a clear exit signal, that's fairly clear. Rejected the 70, bearish bar, bearish kangaroo bar, as Dr. Elder would call it. Glad that I hit the 3 profit targets, but it reject the third ATR channel or reject the 70. Probably at the very best, this thing's just going to go sideways. So I will lock that in for sure. PayPal. Well, Bob, David, and myself, we took this higher low trade on PayPal, 174.01. Went not up nicely the very next day. Again, hit some profit targets. Next day went down. Yesterday hit another profit target. Boy, you know what? This is a bearish engulfing bar. It's a V1. It's a false breakout to the downside. It's a rejection of the 1 ATR channel. I'm just slightly under where I bought it, but because of the profit targets, the phase out profit targets, there is some profit in this trade for me still. The way tech is responding today, I'm probably going to just have to go ahead and get out of this one. All right. Oh. Yeah. No. There we go. All right. I'll get to that in a minute. All right. SPY. Well, real quick, I know everybody would feel like it was a shame if I didn't do this today. 1 second. All right. Real quick. I did buy the SPY at the close last night. I held it overnight. I took the overnight risk and I sold it first thing this morning. I do this because of back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest on Twitter since 1993. Tested 2 approaches. First approach, buy the SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell at the close. If you use this approach every day since 1993, you'd return a negative 13.9% return for all your troubles. However, if you do the opposite, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell the first thing the next morning, it returns 634.2% return. Huge difference. This shows that all of the gains in the stock market in the S&P since 1993 have come in the overnight session. Past performance and no guarantee future results. That is true. We know that. May never work again, but if I'm going to invest money and allocate money towards a trade, it's going to be something that has a good back-tested result. So blue lines, buy in the afternoon, sell the next morning. Orange lines, buy in the morning, sell the afternoon. This one goes up. This one goes down. Even though this one goes up, there are big drawdowns. You have to be aware of that and position size correctly if you use this approach. So I use this every day. And let's take a look here. A small loss on this, but you know, in hindsight, boy, am I glad I got out. I got in at 326.86 yesterday, out at 326.45. So about 40 cents overnight, but I'm glad I hit that sell at the open button. Otherwise would have to dealt with this. But anyway, I will be buying this again today. XLRE. Well, I had a little more hope for this trade. It was up earlier. I did buy XLRE at 35.08. Had this nice sideways motion, had this bullish engulfing bar, had a V1. Today we did trigger that fractal that I was looking for, but no follow through. I will hold this as long as it holds the half way of this V1, yesterday's bar, and or if it closes under 50. If it closes under 50 RSI, I will get out of that one. So I'm definitely going to have to watch that one. All right, Verizon. Well, Verizon at least had the good manners to go up today. I did buy Verizon back here with Gary at 55.80. Initially went up, which was nice, took some profit, moved down, went up again, took some profit, hit some profit targets there, came down. It was close to me getting out, but I held, and it is up 0.24 or 24 cents, up 0.43%. No profit targets, but on a day like today, very, very happy. Okay, well, I did have some trades on Apple today. They did not go so well, as you can imagine. Okay. This is what my screen looked like when I took the trade on Apple. We had a double bottom with a bullish divergence, deep MACD bars here, green bars, got down, tested that low, no red bars, meaning it's a missing right shoulder, plus we had a V1. And it went under 30, over 30. So everything I look for in a trade. However, this one did not work. So I got in at 382.57 and I got out at 380.82. So that was a bummer, but it was a good setup. And whenever I have a good setup, I'm going to go ahead and just take it, win, lose, or draw. Then let me switch over here. So there's a concept called triple screen. Let me explain that to you. Triple screen uses 3 time frames. The large time frame in this case is the weekly, obviously in an uptrend. The daily, when I took the trade, was right here halfway in the value zone. Then I went to the 39-minute bar to look for an entry. Here was my entry when we rejected the 200-day. Gave me a good valid line in the sand, real support. Got in at 378.40. I would get out with a close under the 200, and I had to get out at 377.40. So I lost exactly $1 on that one. You know, Apple has been a pretty good stock to buy these deep dip buys on, but today it did not work. Okay, let's move on to some winning trades. Here is the VIX. I did buy the VIX on the 39-minute bar when we had this V1 and rejection of the -1 ATR channel. This is a 39-minute bar, so a little longer bar. I bought it here at 29.08, got out at 29.27. So 19 cents on that one. Of course, it had a lot more gas in the tank, but the reason I got out is this bar rejected the 50 RSI, unfortunately. Otherwise it would have kept me in. But happy for that, to help get rid of some of those losses on Apple. Okay, Tesla. So let me show you the trade that I took on Tesla. It's a perfect example. I was talking about the alligator being, the alligator was sleeping. See, here it's not sleeping. The mouth is open. Here you can see it's sleeping, which basically means it's going sideways. So here was a fractal, a low with two higher lows to the right, two lower highs to the two higher lows to the left, two higher lows to the right. That's my focal point, is if we go down below this low, as long as we have a sleeping alligator. I shorted here intra-bar. When it triggered that, I shorted at 1583, and it worked as advertised. Look at this, down, 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 down. I got out here when we went under 30, over 30. So I shorted here at 1583, and I got out at 1542. So I made 41 points to the downside on that trade, which was really good because that basically helped negate the Apple losses. All right, and then I had basically a break-even trade here on the Qs. I got in here on the 5-minute on the Qs. We went under 30, over 30. We had a V1. We went under the -3rd, over the 3rd, and I got in at 257.50. Initially went my way, came back down, but held the 30 RSI, went back up, went back up, went back up, got more than 1 ATR for my entry. I got out basically here. I didn't put the price there. So I got in at 257.50 and I basically got out at like 257.44. So essentially a break-even trade. But anyway, all in all, I'm happy with the day trades. Especially the Tesla trade. All right. Let me make a little adjustment here. All right. Take a look at a couple things. Hey Bob, good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Steve says, my positions were green most of the day until the late day sell-off. Dangerous to be in tech today. Super dangerous. Steve says, old VIX 200 SMA support has now become resistance so far. Yeah, we fell underneath the 200. Let's take a look over at that chart. That's a really good idea. Okay, here we go. When the 200 is below you, it's going to act as support. When you go down below it and you come back up to it, resistance. See how we tried to get back over the 200-day moving average, and it now is acting as resistance above us. Thanks for pointing that out, Steve. Appreciate that. Chris S. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Gary M. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Chris says, LOL. It was short all day Apple. I know. I wish I would have been short Apple instead of long, but I was going for those deep dip buys. Evan says, closing VZ today, earnings tomorrow. Oh. Yes. Thank you for pointing it. For some reason, I thought it was the end. Yes, I will definitely be closing VZ today. Thank you so much, Evan. I may have spaced that and forgot about that. I remember looking at this and it was the right-hand column, which is the end of day, but this says before. Oh man, I owe you, Evan. Thank you, thank you. Chris says, I got 8 trades on Apple today. Oh, you shorted Apple today. Fantastic. Very nice. Congrats. Okay. You know, I got to tell you something weird. I was chatting with Kamal today, and Apple at the time was, I can't remember what it was, down 13 or 14. And the other day I had a dream that Apple was down 20 points. I swear I did. And I was telling Kamal that when it was down 13 or 14 points. Look at it now, down 20 points. Woo, weird, right? All right, let's take a look here. Frank and Steve bought IWM at 146.16, moved up nicely. As Steve mentioned, it was up much higher earlier, but now it's down, but it's well off of its low, so still profitable on the trade. So nice going, guys. Manta, I still have Karen in this. I don't know, Karen, if you got out of this yesterday like a bunch of other people did, or if you did not. But if you could update me, I know Kamal and a couple other people took it at 34.76 with this nice higher low V1. Just held the halfway, and then yesterday had the big plunge down. So not sure if you're in that. Let me know, Karen. DKNG, Kamal had a really nice trade here. DKNG 30.14, still nicely in the money, down 3.71% today. Looks like it is holding the previous low. VGR, well, down a little bit today, but relatively strong. Had a false breakout into V2, bought it at 8.98. Kamal and Evan did. Was down yesterday, recovered, down a little bit more today, recovered, but it is still holding the halfway of that washout bar and pretty strong. I believe that's tobacco. Ooh. All right, so here's a trade Kamal had on MDB. He bought it at 207.50. Moved up nicely, really, really, really nicely here. I think, did it hold yesterday's low? I'm not sure there. But anyway, this one's down today. I believe Kamal got out of this one. But you'll have to update me on that, Kamal. MA, David did buy MA, which is MasterCard, at 298.90. False breakout to the downside, V1, moved up the next day. I know he scaled out a little bit. Next day, sold half. He didn't like to close below the previous day's low, but then it's taken off since there. Was up earlier in the day, but now it is down. False breakout to the downside with a V1. AEM. Glenn's had a nice trade on AEM at 63.15 back on the 14th of July. All it's done is gone up. Is down a little bit today. Looks like a bearish engulfing bar to the downside. But nice trade there. Beyond Meat. Frank. Okay, so Frank bought Beyond Meat at 127.60. Initially went right up, came right back down, tried to rally. And then today, like everything, off of its low at least, but just about break even on the trade. CarMax is up today for Steve and Bob. Steve and Bob bought this with a 520 crossover here at 94.90. It's a good back-tested approach. Looks like they were down on it one day, but it's rallied. Looks like, let's see, did this reject the 50 RS or the 70 RSI today? 66.50 is about the rejection. Not quite the 70. So if there's any updates there, let me know. Gold, Gary has had a beautiful trade on gold. He took this with the 520 crossover way back here at 162.80. Look at this. Beautiful. Rejected the 6-day TR channel. That's tough. That's tough to get things up to the 6 ATR channel. I'll tell you what, and it did reject, but beautiful trade, Gary. RBA, Ritchie Brothers. Was this Glenn? I think I accidentally erased, unfortunately. I think I accidentally erased the who this was, but they bought it at 44.60. I think this was either Frank or Glenn. I think it was Glenn. And right now it's 44.50. So just barely underwater. Oh, quad. Beautiful trade yesterday. Beautiful trade on UNG. V1, rejection of the -1 ATR channel. Bought at 985, up 5.98% today. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful trade, quad. And IQ. Okay, so Kamal took IQ yesterday with this false breakout, bought it at 22.51. It did hit his 5% emergency intraday stop, and so I knew we get out of there. So tough day, everybody, all around. That's just how it goes, you know, like the ocean. Sometimes the ocean's just really nice and calm and beautiful, and it doesn't seem like it could be dangerous. But I was a lifeguard on the beach in San Diego for 4 years. And, it can go from really calm and balmy to just treacherous. And that's what the market did today. Karen says, yes, absolutely sold Manta. Oh, am I glad to hear that. Also exited CPRT because I ran out of shares. That's a good sign. It's good to run out of shares if you're phasing, for sure. Brian got in Apple at 366.53, got out just now at 369.45. Very nice, Brian. Nice, nice. Almost three bucks. That's a great trade. Frank says stopped out of Beyond Meat. All right. See, that's the thing with Frank. He lets those winners run, but you see how he gets out pretty quick if he's wrong, and that's the key to profitable trading. Chris says, yesterday Brian was asking about AdVibe, and I told him that he should hold it overnight, and he made another $1. Happy for that. Oh, good. Down a little bit today, but maybe you got out earlier. Steve Burns says, thanks for the RSI KMX intraday reading, Greg. That's great navigator option. Yeah, it really is. So 66.50 is what I had there, Steve. Okay. Let me take a look over here. Okay, have to make that adjustment. Okay. So listen, everybody, before we go down through the watch list, before I look for my end of day trade, keeping in mind three requirements: combination, confluence of indicators lining up together, ideally on multiple time frames. Requirement number 2, good risk to reward ratio based upon valid support below you and valid and likely resistance above you. 2 to 1 is my minimum. The more, the better. And number 3, always take into consideration how many positions you have, how correlated they are. Ideally, every position should be uncorrelated. Ideally, multiple time frames, different trading approaches, trading on different time frames, right? But before we do that, I just want to change gears a little bit and start talking about, this is the time of the day where I like to talk about trader psychology, work on that part of your game, which is the most important part of your game. I can promise you that. There's really good Facebook, Twitter channels out there. that spend time, energy, burn calories to put posts up for us each day. And they're valuable. They really are valuable. Just like gold, they're worth their weight in gold if you just read them and internalize them. This is from Julian Komar at blog. Julian Komar has a fantastic channel on Twitter. I believe he's from Germany. Fantastic trader. I follow his trades. I follow his approaches, and they are super, super valid. But let's see what Julian has to say. You learn by breaking your rules. Don't you? You 100% do. You learn by losing money. You learn by making mistakes. You learn by being foolish. You learn by being in panic. Don't avoid those situations. Only make sure that you do not destroy your trading capital. And I might add, make sure you learn from them, right? I have broken every single rule here more times than I can possibly count. And, if you do break a rule, you are going to learn. At least you should learn. I hope you're going to learn. You paid for that. You learn by breaking your rules. Just the other day, Kamal was telling me, he's like, I learned a lesson. It untriggered at the end of the day, and I still kept it. And, the next day it was down. So he learned from that. You learn by losing money. You learn by making mistakes. Like me the other day, I put in the wrong symbol. I don't know why I had it in my head. It was the wrong symbol. Luckily it worked out. It was a happy accident, as Kamal said, but we are all going to do these things, but please learn from them, right? You might get into the habit of doing something until it doesn't work, and then you maybe look at it more objectively and go, you know what, that was probably not smart. So make sure you learn from the mistakes you make. You're going to make them, but fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If you make a mistake and you keep making mistakes, then it's on you. But if you do it one time, please learn from it. So thank you, Julian Komar. Appreciate that. Thank you for your great channel, all your great information. All right, Frank is out of there as well. We were talking about Apple closing below its previous day's low, and it has not happened for a long time, but it has done it in spectacular form today. So, this is a good time. Anytime a bar is between one ATR, here's the distance 1 to 1, here's 1 to 1, right? These are all kind of intra-bar. Well, here, this was a bit of the first kind of bit of warning when we had a big down bar larger than 1 ATR. Well, this is hugely down. This is much larger than 1 ATR on a huge amount of volume. So something has changed in Apple. It really started to change here. This was the first warning sign. But today, this is very clear. We've made a lower high and we've made a lower low. See the lower high? And now we are at a lower low. So in my opinion, this puts us into a bit of a downtrend. Doesn't mean that we're not going to find buyers down here on this first dip down. We very well might. People that were shorting up here very likely are covering their shorts in here. This would seem a reasonable place to short it. If I really wanted to short Apple, I would wait for it to rally and then fail. That is where I would short Apple if I had to. Okay, let me take a quick look. All right. So CPRT, Bob and myself are still in. I will be getting out of this today at the end of the day with the rejection of the 70 RSI, the bearish kangaroo tail, the rejection of the third ATR channel, all sorts of reasons. But again, I've said it a bunch of times, but whenever I see something that really makes a point, this is why I like to phase out, right? Because I locked in profits at a much, much higher rate. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you'll lock in profits and it keeps going up and you will have locked in profits at a lower rate. But on days like this, it's just a good example. So CPRT, I will be getting out of. FAS, I believe I'll just still hold that. It is down today, but it's not down that much. It didn't make a lower low. ICE, I think I'll probably hold on to this. It is a V1 to the downside, but it's holding in there pretty well for the day, only down 15 cents. PayPal, yeah, definitely have to get out with the close below the previous day's low. See the orange line up here? It moved more than one ATR for my entry, which means at that point, if I get a close below the previous day's low, so looks very much like this will just be a break-even trade, but actually profitable because I hit profit targets up here. SPY, of course, buying that at the end of the day. XLRE, I think it's holding. It's holding the halfway currently. It's holding the 50 RSI, so in that case, I will hold it. Oh, USO. I didn't mention USO. So I bought USO on the weekly here at 28.40 V1, under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the third. Bought it at 28.40. Right now it's at 29.35. So up on it 95 cents. So that one's a keeper. And then Uber. I forgot. I got used to. I did buy Uber. Not on the daily. I bought it on the weekly. This higher low V1 triggered earlier in the week at 33.71. I'll have to wait till tomorrow because it's a weekly bar. If it closes below the open of this week right here, below the close of this week right here, I'm going to have to just get out and take a small loss. Okay. Give me 1 second. I need to take a look at VIX real quick. Intra-bar there. Okay. Now, let's go to some potentials and see what's happening. You know, earlier in the day, I did like Goldman Sachs. You know, I know this is the symbol that not to be mentioned in this chat, but we did have a nice move up above the value zone. We have come back down into the value zone. Normally, I would want this to move sideways, but in this particular case, the 200-day moving average, which is an important line in the sand for Goldman Sachs, right here in the middle of the value zone. Right now, the 200-day is at 203.99. If this were to reject the 200-day moving average and close back above, I would consider taking this because it's in the value zone and it will reject the 200-day, but it's not. Right now, 203.99 is the rejection point. Right now, it's at 203.30. So if it closed underneath, I would not get involved. UAL. Well, we had a nice higher low V1. So we're below the -1 ATR channel, into the value zone, come back down, nice V1, bullish engulfing bar. Only thing is right now it's 49.04, so it did reject the 50 RSI, which is a little concerning for me. Generally, I would probably just go ahead and not take the trade. If it closed over 50 and I had that 50 underneath me as support, I would definitely consider it. So that's a possibility. Pod. False breakout to the downside, V1 to the downside, lower high. Here's a high, which is lower than here. Don't think I would be interested in pod. Verizon. I do have to get out of Verizon. Thank you. I can't remember now who told me that. Was it Zach? Is Evan? Yes, I have to get out because Verizon earnings are tomorrow morning. I do not want to hold through earnings, so I will be getting out of Verizon and looks like locking in a profit on this trade, thankfully. Jets, well, Jets is going to be very similar to UAL. Same pattern though. We went under 50, above 50 RSI, now below. We've rejected the 50 RSI. We've rejected the 50-day moving average, all sorts of stuff. Excuse me. GoDaddy, don't see anything on GoDaddy whatsoever. FRPT, lower high with the V1 bullish engulfing bar. I do not see anything here as well. INT, trying to do a higher low V1, but not much of a washout. I don't even think it's legitimate. SFX, Stitch Fix, really don't see anything there. You know, place to, there's a lot of confluence down here. 200-day moving average, third ATR channel, negative third ATR channel, 200-day moving average, and it would probably put us down around 35 RSI. So that would probably be the place to take a look if and when it gets down to here. But just be patient. VGR, okay, that's Kamal and Evan. So this showed up. So we have two inside bars. Yesterday was the inside bar of the previous day, lower high, higher low. Today's an inside bar, lower high, higher low. This thing's is going to move eventually. Don't know which direction, but it is coiling up there. So these are called inside bars. One after another after another. Work. Don't see anything here on work. And Facebook. Oh my. Well, we've bounced off the 50-day moving average, which is something. We have had a false breakout to the downside of this over here. Excuse me. This is a risky trade though. It did bounce at the 50. It did hold support of that, but you know, big bar down, increased volume. I would rather it come back down, reverse back up. I mean, this, you know, there's a lot of potential here for if we have a bounce on this, but it, you know, you get more possible reward because you have more risk. You would have less risk if you would wait for some real confirmation like a V1 or a V2. So the only thing that looks even remotely possible for me today is United Airlines here. Kamal, you see we went red, green on the bar, so that's somewhat interesting as well. But it's 49.32. I would wait. I'm gonna buy. I will buy this if it closes above 50 RSI. All right. Brian says, put a stop on BNTX. Do we have that up there? No. Got in at 77.70. Fortunately, got out at 95.89. Wow. Very nice. I don't have this up on the board, do I? No, I don't think I do. No. Chris, LOL, I think this might be short for a while on Apple. Could be. Brian, currently got a stop on PFE at 38, got in at 34.50. Wow, wondering if I should keep through close if it doesn't drop. Well, let's take a look. I traded that yesterday, as a matter of fact. Oh, yeah, there was my entry lines. Well, you know, look, this is how I look at it. We rejected the 6 ATR channel twice. Very difficult to get above the 6 ATR channel. V1 to the downside. So, you know, of course, do whatever you're going to do, but just my opinion. I mean, if I was in this trade, I would be getting out with the rejection of the 6 ATR channel and the V1 to the downside. But that's just me, not giving any advice, just telling you if it was me what I would do. Cooley. Hey, Cooley. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you so much for coming by. Kamal says VGR showed up because of MACD cross. Yeah. It's an interesting proposition here because we went under 30, over 30. It is holding. Relative strength is good. You already have it though, Kamal, right? Yeah, you and Evan already have it. MACD crossover. Let's take a look at Philip Morris. Is Philip Morris up on the day? It is. So tobacco, you know, people are kind of, looks like they're moving into more steady defensive type of moves here, like tobacco. All right, we have about 9 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start getting out of stuff because I know I have to get out of it. Just give me a second. I'm still a little tripped out about my dream showing Apple down $20. Could you imagine yesterday talking about Apple being down $20 and here it was down $20 almost to the, like within 10 or 20 cents? Incredible. You know, in Market Wizards, they talk a little bit in the interviews of the Market Wizards, they talk a little bit about the importance of dreams. I'm still kind of weirded out about it, I got to tell you. All right, so I did get out of CPRT, so that is gone. I got out of FAST, that is gone. So, oh no, excuse me, I did not get out of FAST. And I kept ICE. PayPal I got out of. And Verizon I got out of as well because of the earnings tomorrow. And real quick here, let's choose wisely today, everybody. You know, something has changed in the market today. Lots of volume, tech really getting beat up. Let's keep that in mind, okay? And then someone was asking about this earnings whisper. You know, I get this from Steve Burns' channel. Steve always shares it. I believe I got it from Steve's, but he shares it at S. Joseph Burns on Twitter, and I just blow it up and take a snapshot of it. But earnings today, after the close, Intel, Skyworks, eHealth, Samuel Adams, Alkaline Water, interesting. Discover, E-Trade, that should be interesting. So the big one today after the close looks like it's Intel. Verizon, I'm out of because we have earnings tomorrow morning. American Express, that should be interesting. So yep, I have to look over at XLRE. Seems to be holding above the washout bar, but it's under the right. A second ago it was under 50 francs. Says it makes you wonder when you see guns, ammo, and cigarette sales boom. Yeah, sign of the times, I guess, right? Quad Racer, maybe I need to add Remington to my watch list. All right, 5 minutes to go. Look at that day on Apple. Unbelievable. Well, showing a little life. Higher low V1 here. See that? Okay. So what I have to keep my eye on here is UAL. Currently it is under 50, so if it's under 50, no go. I guess what I better do is just move XLE over here so it's faster. Yeah, XLE may fight another day. Well, the Dow is definitely off of its low, so that's good. Looks like XLE, like Quad said, may fight another day. But again, out of CPRT, out of PayPal, out of Verizon, XLRE looks like it's going to hang. UAL, I guess I better get it queued up just in case. Okay, about 2 minutes. $48.95 on the RSI on that, so that's not 1 minute to go. XLRE looks like it's going to be okay. We shall see. What a day, everybody. What a day. I don't think United Airlines is going to do it. I don't think it's going to get there. XLRE looks fine. That's it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a day. Tell you what, some people made a lot of money today and some people lost a lot of money today. That is for sure. So listen, going to take a look and see where I got filled, like there, on my SPY trade, and get the board cleaned up, get rid of my positions, and then if anybody has any new positions or has any exits on their positions on the board, please let me know real quick. Thanks for bearing with me every day on my plug, but I have to do it. I just want to let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I've been trading for 24 years. I've studied one-on-one with some of the well-known and famous traders and authors out there, like our friend Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. I've studied one-on-one with each one of these gentlemen, and everything I've learned from them, I've put together in my own approach, and that is what I teach in my course. It's a long course. It's 5 sessions. Each session is 15 hours, but I really feel like you need a lot of hours to really understand and learn the correct way to trade. And it's nice to have your teacher right there that you can ask questions right away. But, first part of the lesson, I teach the lesson I'm teaching that day. The second part of the lesson, I ask you a lot of questions. We go through a lot of examples. We do a lot of simulation on the charts. So I just want to make sure that you really have it before we move on to the next lesson. So, if you're interested, if you've been thinking about it, please get a hold of me. You can send me an email. My email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter at Gossett Trading on Twitter. And if you do email me or message me on Twitter, I'll reply and say, hey, thanks for contacting me, and let's set up a Skype call. And I do want to point out the Skype call is not a sales call. It's just a call for us to get to know each other a little bit better. It's a good time for me to ask you questions about, why you're thinking about taking the course, what your goals are, what your challenges in trading have been, your trading approaches. Then it's also a really good time for you to ask me any questions about the course. And it's free. Like I said, it's free, and it's not a sales call. And when we're done with the call, I'll say, hey, it's nice speaking to you. Think about it, consider it. If you want to take the course, you can get back to me. So no pressure at all. All right. If you've been thinking about it, good time. And I think you'll be very happy. It is $1,000, but I think it's worth every penny. I really do. So, then secondly, if you like today's podcast in the live stream, whatever we call it these days, if you felt like it was helpful for you, I really would appreciate if you could at least take a half a second and just hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here. I would appreciate that. And it helps to grow the channel and keep it healthy and let YouTube know that, there's some valuable content there. There's a lot of people out there that need help with trading. Let me tell you what, a lot. I've had some Skype calls with some people that literally have blown my mind on what they're doing, what they're trading, what their position size are. I mean, essentially, it's just it's not if, it's just when they're going to blow up their account. I promise you, and so, I mean, if I could just have that talk with, 1 or 2 or 3 people out there that maybe visit this channel and talk about the importance of position sizing. And if they listen to me, it could really, really have a huge impact. And so anyway, you can help me do that by hitting the thumbs up button and getting more exposure, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit today. Okay, let's see what everybody's doing. So real quick, let me see where I got filled on all this stuff. So I got filled on SPY at 322.96, and that's all I bought. $322.96 is my new entry for tomorrow. Okay. Qs, I can take Qs off there. How about that Tesla trade, huh? Using that fractal, boy, was that a trade. Wow. And just perfect example, right? Right here, here's the fractal, triggered the fractal here, 1583, and covered it down here, basically 1542. I mean, that was a trade. I'm using those fractals more and more lately. Okay, let's take a look here. Karen's 100% in cash. Okay, so Karen, were there any that you were not in, or that you're still in here? Let's see, Bob. I'm going to move this over here because I'm out of that. Kamal, Karen, Frank, Steve. ICE, that's only me. PayPal is Bob and David. I got out of that. I don't know about anybody else. John says, has BCO picture changed at all? Thanks. Hey, John. You know, it's a little bit like yesterday, John. It's about the same thing. You know, it's changed in the fact that we did have a false breakout. Yesterday, we didn't have a false breakout. Here was the low over here, and we just got right to it and got stuck. So yes, a little bit better because it's a false breakout. But that day one over here still has the big bar. That one's going to be a tough one to get over, I believe, because the bar is down so strong with so much volume. There was a lot of people selling there. Doesn't mean it can't go back up. But if tons of people are selling just 2 days ago, you know, kind of logically you would think it would be tough to just get right back up there when all that selling was just done, unless there was a whole new group of news or something like that. But we're still under the 10. We're still under the -1 ATR channel. There was no double bottom with the bullish divergence. The up days were on lower and lower volume. It was up today, relative strength wise. That's good. But let's take a look at the weekly, John. Yeah, see, nothing really on the weekly of note. I mean, we've rejected the -1 ATR channel, which is somewhat positive. We are at about a 50% retracement from this low to this high. I guess we're below that. But no, I mean, it's not something that I would get into, to be honest with you. Gary, oh, okay. Gary is out of Verizon. Kamal is out of MDB. That was a bummer. That was a nice trade that just didn't hold. IQ. Yeah. All right, Kamal, got you out of that one, bud. Steve said, the wrong position sizing will blow up a trading account at every trader's level eventually, from new trader to hedge fund manager. Yeah. I mean, it always does. Look at long-term capital management, you know. They have Nobel Peace Prize scientists in there, mathematicians doing all this kind of stuff, and they blew it up because of position sizing. If you learn one thing from this channel, everyone, it's position sizing. It's everything. No matter how bad of a trader you are, if you're the worst trader in the world, if you position size correctly, you've got a chance to hang in there or at least lose your money slower, right? But we don't want to do that. We want to take trades that have edges with the proper position sizing. But if you don't have position sizing down, boy, you can be a 90% successful trader, but one day you're just going to get hit. And like I said, some of the people that call me on Skype that I have these talks with, you know, they're betting sometimes 30% of their capital on one trade. You know? Frank says it helps to handle position size as if it were nitroglycerin. Ooh, that's a good way to put it, Frank. You know, when I was in the chewing gum business, we were starting to work on a nitroglycerin gum for heart attacks. Interesting, huh? Okay, so I have Kamal, Steve, Frank, and Miko in fast. If there's any changes there, let me know. Ice is just me. VIX. Nobody has VIX. SPY got in there 322.96. XLRE, I still have Gary and Quad in there. And David. David, are you still in Verizon? I don't know. I don't think David's here today. No, I don't think he is. Brian, okay, these are trades you've already gotten. Got in Spice at 26.43, got out at 27.27. Fantastic. Twitter got in at 38.15, got out at 39.17. Very nice. SPY got in at 326.36, got out at 326.41. So little gain on that one. Also took your advice on Pfizer and got out at 38.44, got in at 34.50. Wow. Looks like you ran the table on those trades today, Brian. Congratulations. Very, very nice. All right. So I'm pretty sure David got out of Verizon before earnings. I would think so. He's one of my current students at the moment. I would imagine that he would. So, all right, let's get a Verizon. I still have Steve and Bob in CarMax, if that's correct. PayPal, Bob and David. Bob, David, still in PayPal? You're welcome, Kamal. Thanks, my friend. CPRT Bob, not sure if Bob is still in, but unless I hear from him, I will keep him in there. Frank and Steve, I still have in IWM. Manta is gone. I still have Kamal in DKNG. VGR, oh, it went positive on the day. Frank says, took off 70% of my CXS before earnings. The balance has a protective stop. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, hopefully you won't hit that stop, Frank. Glad to hear that you took 70% off before earnings. Gary M., have a great day, everyone. Thanks, Greg. You're welcome, bud. Good seeing you. Brian M., trimmed my PayPal and Microsoft. Still have both and currently hit profit targets on both. Okay. So Brian M, trim PayPal. I didn't have Brian on here. I didn't have it on Microsoft. Brian, do you recall when you got into PayPal and Microsoft? Boy, Microsoft is down 9 points today. Intel down 8% after earnings in the aftermarket. Well, there you go, everybody. In this particular case, good example of not holding through earnings and gambling on earnings, right? Wow, down 7.73%. It's fun. It's fun to make money when you're gambling on earnings, but you just never know. It can definitely go the other way. And I mean, here you'd be down 7.85% right now. All right. All right, well, I've definitely pared down my positions. Well, tough day today. Tough day for sure. All right. Anyone have any other updates? Any other comments or questions, poems, jokes? All accepted. All right. Brian got in at PayPal at 94.67, added up to 115, got into Microsoft. Okay. I think I'm going to clutter up the charts, Brian, if I put too much in here, because everybody will have different prices and it'll be hard to keep track. So I won't put you in there. I mean, I'll keep you here, but you got in at 94.67. Holy smokes. You got that a while ago, added up to 115. Got Microsoft at 111, added up to 190. Okay. That one's going to be a little hard for me to keep track of because they were a long time ago trades. So I'm not going to add those on there. Hope that's okay, but you can understand from my perspective. If I get too many prices on there and who did who, and you know what I mean, or who got what price. But congratulations on fantastic trades, Bri. And thanks for coming today. All right. Well, yesterday was cold. I had to put on a jacket and all this kind of stuff. So today's a little bit warmer. So looking forward to going on a little hike here. Katie's over there. She says hi to everybody. So have a good rest of your day. Please go out and try to do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave or a hello or just a nice gesture. If everybody were to do that, we would have a better world. So, let it start with you. Just one little nice thing, even if it's just a smile or, hey, what's going on, right? And then again, if you could hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here, if you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate that. So tomorrow's Friday, boy, this week has gone by fast. Really, really interesting how fast this week's gone. It's been quite volatile. So anyway, have a good rest of your day. Be safe, be good. And hopefully we'll see everybody tomorrow during the last hour of the trading day. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye-bye now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.